D-Bam, my people, wash popping. You know what time it is. The IboBlondie is bringing Pop Kasa back to your screens with that perfect blend of entertainment and pop culture. Now, there was fire and brimstone on the internet yesterday when an interview of Davido came out where he called Burna Boy a new cat. Now, I don't know what his aim was for that, but we're definitely going in on that conversation. Right after that, we're talking about a letter we saw online that was addressed to married men, and really, it's quite dicey. Of course, the Itch has a really good question for you. My guest and I are ready, so let's dive right in. Welcome to Pop Kasa. Now let's get the show on the road, my people. I mean, if you have been on Twitter in the past 24 hours, you have definitely, or you would have seen the new cat trend. You know, Davido and Burna Boy also trending alongside a few other artists that have benefited from this fire that has been started by Davido's interview, mentioning Burna Boy's name as a new cat alongside, you know, other new artists, including Rema, Fireboy, Ashake, and Mayokun. But this caused a serious uproar on Twitter, and you know we're going to talk about it. I'm ready to get into this conversation, but as you know, I'm not doing this alone. I've got two special guests right here with me, ready to eat into this conversation. We've got Nigerian actor and television presenter, Patrick Ekuwem. How are you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing awesome.
Welcome back to the show again.
Thank you.
And of course, we have a special guest in the house, artist and producer, KM Tunes. How you doing?
I'm okay, I'm good.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm glad
You're
to be
looking
here.
nice.
Thank you.
This is one of the first times on the show that the guests are not matching outfit, because normally we always used to. Normally there's always vibes, but no problem, no problem.
You didn't send the memo.
We did. I'll try that next time. Okay, let's talk about the new cat wahala that has been on the internet. Now, for those of you who may not be well aware of the fire that has been set on the mountain, let's start off by taking a look at the interview clip where Davido made this mention.
Everybody knows now. I was one of the first, me and Wizkid blowed up, you know what I'm saying? So it feels good, you know what I'm saying? Seeing that, then it feels good also seeing the new cats coming up. You know, so like Burna Boy, Rema, Fireboy, who else? Mayokun. You know, a lot of new cats coming, killing it. Ashake, that's on my album. So yeah, so like I think the future in Afrobeats is in good hands.
Now, that was a violation, bruh. That was a whole violation. Now, in one quick word, I want to ask my guests, just one word before we continue. What do you got to say about this video? One word, quick word before we go. Let me start with you, KM Tunes.
I think it's
one word.
Disrespect.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
You.
Incredible.
Patrick. Incredible.
Incredible.
Okay.
You want me to elaborate?
I know, it's incredible. Okay, for me, I would say that was real illegal. That's an illegal blow right there. And let me tell you why. Now, Olamide started his career when he released the debut single, Eniduro, in 2010. And in that same year, he performed at the Hip Hop World Awards. Now, Wizkid began recording his debut studio album, Superstar, in 2009. And he released Holla at Your Boy as the album's lead single on the 2nd of January 2010. Now, the song was nominated for Best Pop Single and earned him the Next Rated Award at the Headies in 2011. Now, Davido was also putting in the work around that same time, but rose to fame after releasing Damiduro, the second single from his debut studio album, Omo Babalowo, in 2012, from which 6 additional singles, including Back When, Ekuro, Overseas, All of You, Bong Bong, and Feel Alright, were taken. And in 2012, Davido won the Next Rated Award at the Headies. Here's the tea now. In that same 2012, Burna Boy rose to stardom after releasing Like to Party, which was the lead single from his debut studio album, Live, L-I-F-E, he released in 2013, and that album sold 40,000 copies on the first day of its release. Now, this album featured guest appearances from Two-Face Idibia, Emma Yabaga, Timaya, Olamide, Reminisce, and Wizkid, amongst others. Now, Nigerian Entertainment Today ranked the album number 10 on its list of the 12 best albums in 2013. Now, this same album peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Reggae Albums chart in 2013. Now, before this album was released, he had also released songs like Like to Party, Tonight, Always Love You, Run My Race, Yawa Day, which we all can agree that we knew and loved. 2 years later, in 2015, he performed at the MTV Mama 2015. I really need to get it out. With all of this, you know, with all of this discography history that Burna Boy has, is Davido, from his point of view, still allowed to call Burna Boy a new cat, ranking him alongside Rema, Fireboy, and the others? Let me start with you, KM. You look, you're the artist here, so let me get your artistic point of view, and then we'll go to Patrick right after.
Okay, like I said earlier, it's disrespect.
Okay.
So Burna is not a new cat. It didn't come to this thing 2018, but probably Davido is looking at the year which he started popping, like, you know, like the real deal.
Yeah.
That is 2018 when he dropped Bono and some other song,
Yeah.
So, but like you said, 2013, for him to be up there, and they rated him for the next rated.
Yeah.
They nominated him in 2013
Yeah.
to tell you that he really did well in that
It
year.
was
You
good.
don't just pick someone that's not, you know, popping and put him
And put
on
them there.
next rated. So I don't know what's happening between them, but I think that is just
It
not
might be
cool.
internal beef. Okay, Patrick,
Yeah.
let me hear from you now. Can he still rate him as a new cat, even with all, you know, the discography that he has, the history he has already?
I think it's an incredible statement for Davido to say in any shape or form that Burna Boy is a new cat. And not just to say that he's a new cat, but to say that and then put him on the same list with Rema and Fireboy.
Asake,
That's the term is correct. It's like disrespectful. If anything, Burna Boy is a peer of Davido. And this only starts up the other conversation, because you do this and then it gets to the conversation, which I know many of Davido fans don't like to hear, and who is better. Burna Boy is a Grammy Award winning artist.
Okay.
Now, Davido just so happens to not have a Grammy Award. Okay. You say this, they kind of like pull that comparison out.
Okay, that's quite harsh, but no problem. We'll get right into it. Now, Larry made a tweet that now has over 17K likes and 3,200 retweets, where he wrote, Burna Boy dropping songs since 2012 does not make him same set with Wizkid, Davido, and Olamide. Sheyi Vibes has been dropping songs since 2018, but nobody calls him set with Rema, Fireboy, and so on. Everybody sabi the year where them blew. Now, based on Larry's point of view and the number of people liking and retweeting, which I believe should be them affirming what Larry has said, do you think that this statement is agreeable? Let me start with you, Patrick.
Well, I definitely do not agree with just describing Burna Boy as a new cat. Burna Boy is Davido's peer at most. Yeah. And even if you follow that tweet, even with the wordings of that tweet, it's still not accurate to this situation, because Burna Boy, we've known Burna Boy. Burna Boy has been successful for years. You talked about him being nominated Next Rated Artist 2013. Davido's first studio album was 2011. Yeah. Burna Boy's first album, 2013 was the first year you released your studio album. In the same year, you're nominated for Next Rated. That's a big deal. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, let me get to you, KM Tunes. Now, do you agree with what the tweet that Larry had made?
No, I don't agree, because comparing the situation of Sheyi Vibes, in 2018, we don't know who is Sheyi Vibes. But as of that time, we know who is Burna, even though he's not in the level of maybe the way Davido came into the industry and all that, but we know Burna. But we don't know him, so you can't compare then and now. So it's still a no-no for me. No.
Okay. Now, someone on Twitter mentioned that it's Davido's PR team trying to, you know, tie Davido's name to Burna's at the moment, as he's gathering buzz from his latest tweet, after, you know, from his latest feat after selling out the 80K stadium. Now, do you think this makes sense? Do you feel like it's maybe a PR type thing, or, you know, it's just what it is? Let me start with you, Cam.
I don't think this is a PR thing, because Davido came out to, you know, he made the video himself. So it's not, maybe he tweeted the way we would say it's a PR thing. So he made that video. I don't know the point he's trying to prove, but it's not cool.
Just not it.
It's
not it at all. Okay, let me hear from you, Patrick.
It would not surprise me if it's some sort of PR stunt. I don't think it is, because watching the video, I don't know Davido doing any acting. He doesn't look like he's acting that out. He just looks like he's just talking. Maybe the more plausible explanation to me is just maybe he just said it. He didn't really think about it. It just came out. He just blurted it out. But if it is a PR stunt, it's well executed, because now
it's trending.
It's trending.
It is trending. And that's one thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Nigerians, I'll tell you the truth, Nigerians are the problem. And I'm not even taking it easy. We are the reason why Burna doesn't really rate us. People come out and say Burna is rude to Nigerians, Burna doesn't care about his Nigerian fan base. Let me tell you why. Burna Boy had been making internationally acclaimed hits since 2012. I mean, his album peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Reggae Albums chart in 2013. And the people who knew good music back then knew Burna was gold. But the general Nigerian music ears were tuned to Tungba sounds at the time. And the very moment he became a worldwide sensation from his Yay song, Nigerians started to claim him, calling him their own. And that's exactly why he don't rate y'all. Let me just be honest. Everybody else knew that he was good except Nigerians. Take it or leave it. It's just a hard shoot. And on that note, we'll be heading on to our next story right after the break. Keep it locked. Welcome back to the show, Nibam. Now for the next part, we need to address a note that was dropped on the internet for married men. Now, this note was dropped by a certain comedian that, decided that he wanted to educate us. So this certain comedian, Sir James Essien, wrote a letter addressing married men who, in his words, are living under the fear of their wife. He says he hates and feels sad when a grown-up guy man tells his friends at a sit-out, "Guy, make I reach house before madam vex for me." Now, he put out a warning for his guys, and here's what he says. He says, number 1, never sit with me if you know your wife controls your breath. Number 2, just avoid me cause no be me hang that tiger for your neck. 3, if you sit where I am and the time your wife gave you elapses, silently go without muttering a word, was to use your wife as excuse. Number 4 is if you must take permission from your wife to be with your friends, don't come near the table of men. 5, if you're out of your careless life, your wife caught you in an action that seems unfaithful to her, how does that concern me or friends? Tell her to deal with you and leave the friends out of it and all of the blunder. Says you are a useless man and under bondage if your wife is controlling you and all of that. And also warns the ladies, saying, lastly, ladies, your husband is not your pet. You should not control him and all this blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm really glad that I have men in the house to have this conversation with. It's just a guy thing now, so I want to find out from the guys. Is this guy making sense or nonsense? The way that Patrick is laughing, it looks like Patrick has a lot to say. So let me start with KM. Let me start with KM2 so that Patrick can, steal his response up. KM2, let me hear you. Is it making sense or no sense?
Okay, I won't say it's making sense. It depends on the kind of home, actually, I would say.
Okay.
There are some homes that you see the wife not doing that to the husband. Then the man has to respect himself too. Okay. When you have an opportunity, to be out and your woman is always like, okay, like you can do what you want to do. But if you misuse the opportunity, maybe you're coming back late night without a good reason or, you're in a place that is very important. Yeah. She's human too. She will just be home waiting for you in the morning, all this kind of stuff. So that's why I say it depends. It doesn't mean that she's controlling. But if you respect yourself as a man, I think you can control your home.
Okay. Yeah. Patrick, can I hear from you?
Well, one thing that struck me about this story is the profession of the person who made the tweet. He's a comedian, right? So, okay.
No problem. Give it to us.
We'll go there. He's a comedian. But, I think in a broader scale, when you get married, you take on responsibility. I think that's a point many people are forgetting or they're not bearing in mind. You're now responsible. You have a situation whereby you're in this dynamic with this person and you have a responsibility to them to let them know when you want to take certain actions. Okay. If you're going out, your woman should be aware of what you're doing. And then let's come to terms with something. Guys, even though we like to be free and we like to think that your woman needs to be okay with what you're doing. You need to find a middle ground because on the flip side, it happens to us too. You get married to a woman, there's some habits that she's going to have to change. You like to go to parties every weekend. You're my wife now. That's not going to happen anymore. Okay. And she's obviously going to be in a position where there's some things that she's going to be uncomfortable with. When 2 guys get together, 3 guys, 4 guys, they get together. What do you think happens? They get together, they have a few drinks. What's likely to happen?
Well, what actually happens though, Patrick? What happens?
Bro code.
What happens?
Bro code.
Would you tell us what happens? Okay, one of the things. Tell
bro
us
code. Absolutely not.
You people are doing evil things in this world.
You will not get a single thing out of me. So, so with that happening, like a woman, you have a husband, you know that 5 guys get together, some drinks get going on.
So in other words, we shouldn't really trust y'all anymore.
Oh no, please absolutely trust her. Trust me.
Absolutely trust you. You just told us that you guys are doing criminal activities.
I didn't say anything.
Bro code is very criminal. Okay, so to what level level would you allow your partner control your movements? Let me start with you, KM.
Okay, like me, I'm into entertainment as well, you know, so I have events, I have shows and everything. So I think I just need her to understand my kind of job. So I'm not saying you should not tell me, you know, some things, but you can't take control because there are some things I don't even plan for sometimes. I may just get a call and I have to be somewhere, and so you need to understand, and that's why I say there's an internal thing. It's not something that you use generally for everybody because it's not everyone that is an artist or you know, doing entertainment. Some people go to work, you know, like 8 to 5, and they need to be home by, you know, 6, 7, but you're out to like 12, 1, like, what are you doing? I think that's what is bringing all this.
So it depends on the home. So Patrick, can you let your partner control your movement, or is there an extent to which you would allow your partner control your movement?
First of all, let's get that out of the way. No one will control me. It's not going to be.
Wow.
No one is ever going to be given that leverage. You're not going to be in a position to control me.
Okay.
What will happen though is we'll have conversations. I will tell you what I'm up to, what my lifestyle is like. You will tell me what you're up to, what your lifestyle is like.
Okay.
And we'll both get to know what we're comfortable with and what we're not. And you will let me know what parts of my lifestyle you're uncomfortable with, and I will let you know what concessions I'm willing to make because I'm a reasonable person. And this is the thing, you know, be with reasonable people, because if you're a reasonable woman, she will know what is within reason to demand from you, and you would also be reasonable yourself. Know what's within reason to concede, and that's how people have relationships. You're just on a final note, when you get married, you are going to change for the person you're getting married to. Accept it. You're not going to be the same person you were.
Okay, as guys now, let me ask you off the top of, like, just for me now. And then what are the top 2 things you feel like will change in your life when you get married? Let me start with you, KM. The top 2 things you think will change in your life when you get married?
I think hanging out like all the time with your friends, the way you used to do before you get married, and you know, and like for instance, I travel and all this kind of thing. I know that will change too because I don't have to be going like the way I used to when I'm single. Like I said, things have to change, so I have to adapt.
Okay, so I will come back to you and ask you the 2 things that you think will never change no matter the person you get married. So think about that. While I go to Patrick to find out what are the top 2 things that will change, and then we'll come back and find out the things that will never change. 2 things that would change.
So absolutely, I would spend less time with friends. You've got to make, it's a relationship, it's a woman. You're going to build it, you're going to get to know each other in different realms and spheres. So more time is going to be dedicated to madame. Whether I like it or not, that will definitely change.
Okay.
What else will change? I'm not sure. I'm just going to make this statement in the air. Something will change about me behaviorally. There's going to be something different. I might become more receptive to certain emotions. I might become more, you know, emotionally intelligent. I don't know. I think I'm pretty emotionally intelligent, but maybe I might just add a little bit,
you know, top it up
a little bit to that. So yeah, those might change.
Okay, now KM, what you will never change, no matter who you get married to, like Nelly Gwenelua, like in the heavens and on the earth, nothing can change this thing about you. What are those 2 things that will never change, no matter what happens, as a guy?
I would say firstly, my profession. I cannot, because you know we can't get married and you tell me to just drop my career for. So
I mean, some guys actually ask women to drop their careers. Like, okay, would you stop working? You know, if we get married, you drop your career and you know follow the marriage.
Probably the guy has a plan for the lady, like a better plan.
A better plan.
I don't feel like anybody can have a better plan for me than what I'm doing now. So I can never drop it because I have passion for it. Yeah. So then. I have my routine, like things I do with some of my friends. So I think I cannot stop that as well.
A particular thing that you with your friend that you cannot stop.
It's like a tradition, so
what's
it's not
tradition?
something bad.
Bro code.
It's not something bad.
Your tradition is now bro code as well. You people are doing very, very sneaky things out here.
No, it's nothing bad.
Nothing bad. But you can't tell us, but it's not bad.
Yeah, we can't say it live here.
It's bad, my dear.
No,
you are being a bad boy.
It's just like revealing our secret to the world.
Okay, we'll reveal it. Okay, Patrick, let me hear from you. What are those 2 things that you will never change?
Very simple. Have you ever seen pictures of men, maybe a few months or a year after they got married, and maybe before they got married, they used to be very fit, you know, flat stomach, things like that. And then, you know, 1 year down the line, so that will not change. Like,
you will never lose
I'm going to always be the type of guy who will watch what he eats, who will try to get in the gym. You're not going to make a pot-bellied man out of me. That's not
even if the food
happen.
is really nice?
Even if the food is really nice. Trust me, I know how to say no.
Oh, okay.
I know how to say no.
Okay.
Another thing that will probably never ever change. What else? That's probably it.
Probably
for me,
it. You're about your looks. Mine's about the looks, but nobody. All right, nobody. I mean, there's a lot of wildness that's going on.
I think I can just add career.
Career? Okay, career wouldn't change. All right, there's a lot of wildness going on in this world. I mean, from what the comedians say, you can smell a lot of responsibility going on there, but that's not the point. That's not where we're going. The itchy itch is knocking on our door, and we'll get right into it after the break. Keep it locked. It's time for the itchy itch of the day, and today we've got a rather disturbing view, so let's check that out before we have this conversation. Okay guys, I mean, I need to understand, maybe it's a man thing, maybe there's something that you guys know that can be that important on your phone while you're walking out of the aisle with your bride, your newly wedded bride. What could possibly be that important? Please, let's start with you, Patrick. What could be that important?
It better be containers. It better be his kidney. It better be failing, and he's securing the one he's about to have implanted in him, because I do not, what could be more important on the day of your wedding? The one day that cements your eternal matrimonial bond to this person. What is he doing? I'm looking at the picture. What is going, what is it that cannot be, someone else cannot handle for the time being? You can't get back to it. While walking on the aisle. It's not like he's sitting in, and then someone is preaching or something. You're taking him on. You're literally, oh my God.
Okay, KMG, let me hear from you. What could possibly be this important as a guy now?
To me, there's nothing that can be important. Like I said, if you have anything, even if not container,
even if,
there will always be someone that you can actually, do this, or let the person know today is my wedding day.
Yes.
I cannot attend to any of this. You have to, just give me today. That's the best thing to do, because now it's just so embarrassing, seeing a man walking and you're pressing.
And just doing that. I mean, so even the guys say it's a no-no.
And she looks adorable too.
Exactly.
He wants to collect his wife. He wants to collect his wife.
She deserves better.
You got. Okay, now while there's still a lot of fire brewing on the internet, I advise you all tread lightly this weekend so you don't get burned, as we don't know how bad it's going to get on Zuckerberg's internet yet. D-Burn, my people, in summary, stay safe out there. Until I see you next week, Yaga Zero Guitar. Have a nice day.